Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this recap video we are going to cover the 4 index futures that we watch every morning during the open and mostly during the close, about the first 90 minutes and last 90 minutes of the Wall Street trading day. That's when I want to shorten up the time frame, pull up a volume weighted average price, and start to look at which side of the market the sentiment is on. And it's their early morning that I want to look at here with you. So every Tuesday and Thursday I trade the morning with the group here in the Simpler Futures room, and what we do is we look at what happened earlier in the day, meaning what happened between about 2 and 9 a.m. Eastern, and then what happens after the bell. What kind of sentiment do we have at 10 o'clock at the end of the clearing, and then really kind of slowing things down around 11 and then cutting things off at 11:30 Eastern. All right, so that's the rhythm, and then here's the plan. Every morning I want to see what happened between 2 and 9, and remember, 30 minutes before the open we could see different types of psychology or a stall. Of course, we want to be aware of any 8:30 data events. And then the last part of this is, once the bell rings, and I say last as far as this pre-market psychology goes, at 9:30 we start to decide, all right, first of all, what was the morning sentiment? And then remember, the market gets instant amnesia at 9:30. Doesn't matter what happened all in here, it is a brand new day going forward. So I remember, it's like Men in Black when Will Smith would hit the neuralizer and instantly you forgot. That's what I think happens at 9:30. So we could have a completely different type of trend. So between 9:30 and 9:45 Eastern, between 9:30 and 9:45 Eastern, I look for a few things. One, what's the high and low for the first 15 minutes after the bell? And two, do I have any propulsion dots, which means what is the interaction between price, the AEMA, and the 21 EMA, both those things, all those things happening at once. The next thing that I want to keep an eye on is what's happening at 10 o'clock. So I look at the way in which the market's responding at 10. And 10 a.m. is important. It's the end of the clearing. So what that means is I can assess again what the high and low is for the first 15 minutes and what the first 30 minutes are. And we call these the CR, or the clearing range trades. Now, both these trades, the 15-minute and the 30-minute clearing range, triggered long positions. Both of them triggered longs. And this happened across the board. In fact, the best buys were actually triggered by the NASDAQ and by the S&P. And the way that we determine that, and it's a little hard to go back in time, but I want to show you the layout that I use, if nothing else, for that, is to use what's known as our sector watch list. Let me show you what that is. So I have a watch list specific to the sectors. I can look at this one right here so I know who's leading and lagging, or I actually like this layout a lot, but I wanted to show them both to you. And this is the way in which we would view the ETF sector watch list, which is each one of the index futures in the first column to the left, and then the heavily weighted symbols following that. So what I want to do is focus on the communications, the discretionary, what's going on with healthcare, all these, again, left to right. And what you would have seen this morning is the fact that financials were lagging, industrials were lagging, and even healthcare was lagging a bit. So that told me tech, communications, and discretionary were leading the way, and that means from a sector standpoint, let's focus on buys in the NQ. So that's exactly what we did. Focus on the 9:45 breakout, focus on the 10 o'clock breakout. And as long as we stay above that blue sentiment line here, this one right here, it's the middle line of the volume weighted average price, by the way. It's what I call the sentiment line. As long as we stay above it, we're bullish. And so we looked for opportunities across the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5-minute time frame for buys only. And this is the power of one-sided trading. Never was looking for tops, never was looking for where we could short this market. Let's focus on the first half of the day. Buys only worked great. You can see what happened into the close. We sold off, but by then we had taken whatever we really wanted from this market. We'll start over fresh tomorrow. I'll see you in the next update.